Sin, in most religious traditions, represents actions or thoughts that go against the moral and divine will of God. In Christianity particularly, it is seen as a fundamental barrier that distances humanity from God, affecting the closeness of the relationship and the inner peace one might feel in faith. Understanding how sin separates us from God brings to light the spiritual and emotional costs involved in straying from the intended path of divine connection. Here's a breakdown of how this separation works and what it truly means. The nature of sin and its impact on holiness. God, as described in most religious texts, is perfectly holy and cannot be in the presence of sin. Sin tarnishes purity and disrupts the harmonious relationship that is meant to exist between humanity and God. When people sin, they step out of the light of God's presence, choosing actions or thoughts that contradict the divine nature. Spiritual separation, the gap created by sin. Sin creates a spiritual gap between humanity and God. Like a wall being built brick by brick, every sinful action or thought adds a barrier that obstructs communion with God. This separation often leads to a feeling of emptiness, guilt, or a sense of something missing, a longing for a connection that sin disrupts. Emotional and psychological consequences of sin. Beyond spiritual disconnection, sin also brings about feelings of guilt, shame, and remorse. When one becomes aware of sin, these emotions are the heart's response to recognizing the spiritual divide. Over time, these negative emotions can cloud one's mind, leading to further distance from God and affecting personal well-being. How sin affects relationships and choice. A life separated from God can affect relationships with others. Sin often brings about selfishness, pride, and dishonesty, which can harm family, friends, and communities. The farther one is from God, the more they may struggle with making choices that are aligned with love, compassion, and integrity. The way to reconciliation and restoration. Many religious beliefs hold that repentance and seeking forgiveness are the paths to healing the separation sin causes. In Christianity, for instance, Jesus' sacrifice is viewed as the bridge to restore the relationship between humanity and God. Through forgiveness and grace, the gap can be closed, allowing for reconciliation and renewed intimacy with the divine. Understanding the consequences of sin can serve as a guide to live with mindfulness and integrity. The knowledge of sin's ability to separate us from God may encourage one to seek growth in faith, to stay vigilant about choices, and to foster a relationship that promotes unity with God. What do you think about the cost of sin to our spiritual lives? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to deepen your understanding of sin and spirituality, be sure to check out our next video on the topic. Thanks for watching.